Good morning everybody, this is Roshni Sri Abhirami, a legal intern with Lexis and Company. Today I will be dealing about a specific act in labour law, that is the Interstate Migrant Workers Act of 1979. The full form of this act is Interstate Migrant Workers Regulation of Employment and Condition of Services Act of 1979. So basically, the significance of the dignity of human labour and the need for protecting and preservation of the interest of the labourers has been enshrined under Part 3 of the Indian Constitution. It is also mentioned under the Part 4 under the DPSP, that is the Directive Principles of State Policy. So there was a need for a specific legislation for addressing the issue of migrant labourers coming into the country within the country in the enactment of Interstate Migrant Act of 1979. So basically, the majority of the migrant workers were not the members of any trade union or welfare association schemes. Okay, so they also did not have any platform to express their grievances. So in order to even imagine the condition of these migrant workers, it was very terrible. So basically, in order to provide them with basic human rights and basic equal remuneration and everything, this particular act was passed. So in order to improve the living condition of these particular migrant labourers, the Interstate Migrant Labourers Act was passed in 1979. So basically, what is this interstate migrant labourers? According to the section 2 clause 1 subclause E of this particular act, the Interstate Migrant Labourers Act of 1979, interstate migrant workmen means any person who is recruited by or through a contractor in any one state under an agreement or any other agreement for which the employment in an establishment is another state, whether with or without the knowledge of the principal employer in the relation to such an establishment. It is what basically a labourer who does not belong to your state, who has come from his own state, from any other state to your own state, is a migrant labourer as per section 2 clause 1 subclause E of the act. So we just saw the meaning of who an interstate migrant labour is. Now we will be looking on to the provisions, that is what the act has to say about the migrant labourers, or how the rights of these migrant labourers has been protected, which is the main intention of this particular act. So basically, I will be dealing with the important points that the particular act talks about. That is, the wages payable to the interstate migrant shall be paid in cash. Basically, when you are paying the migrant labourers, you have to pay only in cash. You cannot say I'll deposit in your bank account or anything. You have to pay in cash only to the migrant labourers. This is one among the conditions that was put into the Interstate Migrant Labourers Act of 1979. And another thing is that the contractor shall at time of recruitment of interstate migrant labourers may pay displacement allowances up to 50% of the monthly wages, or 75 rupees, whichever is higher. So whenever an employer appoints an interstate migrant worker, he has to pay displacement allowance. That could be a 50% of the monthly wages, or rupees 75, whichever is higher. So basically, 75 rupees is a very less amount, and I don't think 75 rupees would be could be a monthly salary or monthly wage for any worker. So mostly they have to give away displacement allowances of rupees 50% of the monthly wages of the migrant labourers. This is one among the other rule that has been inserted into this particular act. The interstate migrant worker shall be paid an amount less than the fare from his place of residence in his state to the place of work in the other state by the contractor as journey allowances from both the outwards and return journey. So basically, this according to this particular clause, you have it is mentioned that the employer has to pay for the Travel charges, basically when he comes to your place or goes to his place, the employer has the duty to pay for the travel charges. That is one among the things that is mentioned under the Interstate Migrant Act of 1979. And also to ensure the regular payment of wages to such workers, he has to pay the workers regularly. There should not be any lag in the payment while such payment is happening, and everything that has to be made sure by the employer himself during the payment, to ensure equal pay for equal work irrespective of sex. So basically we could see in various parts of India, you could see that the workers being paid less when particularly when they are not do not belong to the particular state where they work for. So when somebody comes from another state and works in your state, that particular labor is paid less. But the Immigrant Labour Worker Act mandates that every employee shall pay equally to every employee working under him who is an immigrant labor. He has to pay him equally. So it cannot be biased based on the place where he comes from, based on race, caste, sex. That is one among the very important things that is mentioned under this particular act. He should also one thing is mentioned in the act is that he should ensure that the regular conditions of work, such as the workers having regard to the fact that they are required to work in a state different from their own state. So he has to make sure that the worker feels safe to work in this particular organization where he works for, instead of being harassed, and other situations should not happen to him. So these are some things that is mentioned in the act for the benefit of the migrant laborers. Alright. So another thing which is mentioned is that to provide and maintain suitable residential accommodation to such workers. You can see that migrant workers who are working in other states do not have proper shelter. They sleep on roads, they sleep on untidy places and everything. So this act mandates every employer to provide the migrant workers with a proper residential accommodation. So it's the duty of the employer to make sure that the migrant workers are in a better condition to reside in. So this is one among the other things that is mentioned, and I will be moving on to a few other things, that is to provide it's the duty of an employer to provide a protective clothing to workers as may be prescribed. You could see in a match factory or a cracker factory, you could see that many employers work with just a very synthetic cloths or anything. So we all know that while working in a fire place, you have to wear cotton clothes because it might help you not getting affected. So the employer has to make sure that he provides the migrant workers with protective clothing and everything, so that the migrant worker could work in his company safely. So, and also in a case of a fatal accident or a serious body injury, the worker has to report to the specified authorities of both the states and also the next kin of the worker. So basically, if the migrant worker has any trouble with his any injury or any trouble with his body parts or anything because of the workspace he works with, the employer has to immediately report to the authorities of both state government and also to the next kin, that is the family of the worker or the friend of the worker, so that an immediate action could be taken for this particular matter. So, and whenever a contribution is made by a migrant worker to the national economy, most remains on the margin of the society. So the contribution to cheap labor but unable to influence their the pay or working and living conditions and political voices, especially where they migrate to other states. So voices of these particular migrant workers are to be heard mandatorily, and they cannot be ignored as one among the major things that is mentioned in the particular act. So according to there is one section, that is according to section 19, the loan taken by the interstate migrant worker shall remain outstanding only till the time he remains employment to the contractor or the political employer. So basically, if you are a migrant worker and if you take a loan from your employer, you can be you can stay unliable, without any liability, only till you are employed to that particular employer. So as soon as you leave that particular job, you have to make sure that you pay the loan amount, or at least the interest for the loan amount regularly. And it is also mentioned in the act, which puts a burden on the laborers themselves. So on the completion of such a term, it shall be deemed to have been extinguished, and not suit or any other proceeding shall lie on any other court or before any other authority for the recovery of such debt or any other part thereof. So it is also there on the employer that if the employer leaves you for the employment, you cannot ask him for the loan back. So you have to make sure that you get the loan before as he stays with you during the employment, and after he leaves you and after he leaves that particular state, he cannot claim that he got a loan from me, so I need that loan back. It is not allowed for the employer. That is one among the contentions that is provided under this particular act. So basically, as I said, all the rules that are mentioned in this particular act, you can see that how much friendly this act is for the migrant workers. It mandates everything to make sure that the migrant laborers feel like a home in the state where they work in. So equal pay, a proper dressing, a proper residential accommodation, a proper the charges and loan, providing of loan and everything. So basically, migrant workers have been facing so much. We could see through our eyes that the migrant laborers in the country are suffering so much. So in order to improve their condition, this particular act is being implemented in the country. So I would like to conclude that the social legal studies of interstate migrant workmen legislation reveals that through industrialization, though industrialization has contributed towards the progressive movement of the society, yet it has its rebuilt problems within the society itself. Although the laws may be awesome, but you have so many problems still in the society going on. The society doesn't actually abide by the law so much. We have to create more awareness regarding this. So the law has been as soon the law is enacted, there has to be so much awareness about the law. That is one among the things that I think it is very mandatory, along with framing laws and protect. And I really appreciate the government's initiative in coming up with this particular law, and this, according to me, this particular law is really helpful and would support the migrant workers in so many ways. And with this, I conclude this video. Thank you so much. And if you have any opinions, or if you think there are any amendments required to the law, or if you think there are any changes that can be made to the law, kindly put it in the comment section so that we could think about it and we would decide about it. Alright, thank you so much.